Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working our way through our economic woes, although things are significantly improved right now. We've been sacking a lot of standard of living, unfortunately, for our economy, and that will come back to bite us. But for right now, we have our government administrations and iron mines ticking along kinda nicely. We're currently making some amount of money, and we just unlocked lathes, so that might get us some good production methods here. We'll take a look. Dye workshops look good, although dye might become a problem. We'll keep an eye on that. Lathes are going to be more tool consumption. We're okay on tools for right now, so I think this is reasonably fine. For glassworks, leaded glass is not good. We don't need, or rather, we need to get our lead mines online, but we're nowhere near being ready to construct those yet, so we're going to avoid leaded glass for the moment. Tooling workshops, wrought iron tools is actually maybe really good here, but not yet. We'll get to that. So that's okay for now. We managed to get a couple of production methods out of that. For our iron mines, I'd love to get the atmospheric engine pump. We need to get coal mines online for that. Right now, we're lacking a lot of things, right? So right now, we need to get our base levels taken care of. That's the goal for the moment. So what does that do to tools? Tools are considered slightly expensive. Okay, market access in Kansai is currently at 91%. And that is potentially an issue for us because we can't build railways yet. We can build ports. So that might be what we end up having to do here. I'll build a port as highest priority here. Our capital region should not be at low market access. We definitely don't want that to happen. So we're able to build the port, government administration, and an iron mine behind that. So for now, that is looking good. Wood, paper, tools, iron are all expensive. This needs to be handled, and we'll work on it. This negative 10K here is, of course, due to the fact that we currently don't have any private construction ongoing, so we're not pulling out of our investment pool. That's where that deficit comes from. So for the moment, I'm not too concerned about that. If this starts to get too high, we will have a problem. 12.5K interest is painful, but it's not the end of the world, for sure. So these iron mines are going to be done in 2 weeks. And that's big. We definitely need to get more iron. Iron is still considered expensive here. How many more iron mines do we have queued up? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We're now back to being positive, and that's because this arms industry in Hokkaido started up. I'm a big fan. Iron and hardwood is going to be somewhat painful for us, although hardwood is currently very cheap. We did swap over to producing hardwood, didn't we? We did. Okay, so hardwood is very cheap right now, and so utilizing that hardwood would be good. We would definitely be happy to do that. I would love to get leaded glass. It's just not an option right now, sadly. So we're very, very slowly working on paying down our interest, although really that's not our highest priority right now. Really our highest priority does need to be maxing out our construction sectors in Chubu. So I don't want to do this all right now. In fact, I don't want to do any of it right now. We're going to allow this number to go up a little bit until it matches this number. So 5.21K, I don't want to go into a deficit for right now. That's our target income, is 5.21K here. So we just finished up our port in Chubu. So now our infrastructure here is much better. That's good. That'll also help our convoy situation, which is probably good too. That said, convoys aren't nearly as bad as they used to be. So, for now, one may ask, what is the goal? The goal is to get our income to 5.21K. That is the current goal. And that basically means we just need to keep doing what we're doing right now. We don't have too much that we really need to change at this moment, unless we wanted to put in another consumption tax. I feel like this would be bad. I guess we could put one in on services. What that would end up doing for us is allowing us to expand our construction by currently 2. So that'll bring us up to 70 construction, although construction sectors, they don't get economy of scale. That's right. So without economy of scale, we don't actually have to have these all in Chubu. but it's I think fine to do that for right now. I want to get these completed, and starting to pay down that debt is definitely good as well. So we'll get those done, and that will allow us, of course, to go up to 70 construction out of our target 333. Well, 335 is our target construction. So that's good for right now. That will allow us to construct a little faster here, 3.85k. We absolutely do want to construct faster, right? We've got 137 weeks in this construction queue right now. I want to check in on the status of Britain at this moment. They're still dominating, or rather domineering, and we currently are just holding their relations at neutral. So for now, that seems reasonable. Hello, 5.87k. This is theoretically possible at this moment to construct another construction sector. That would be good. Now, what is our total number of construction sectors we need? If we're looking for 335 and they produce 5 each, then that's 67 that we're looking for. Okay, so of course, if we divide that by 15, that gives us roughly 4.5 completed states in which to build this. That's a lot. No doubt about that. But we need to get these iron mines under control, and we need to get this unrealized tax situation under control. We're kind of treading water on the unrealized taxes, to be honest, and once we get these iron mines done, that should be okay. I mean, we're not running an input goods shortage of iron, but I still think it's good to construct these iron mines. Once they're done, we're going to be putting all of this into government administration, and I think we'll no longer be treading water on our unrealized taxes at that time. All that said, our taxes are a problem, right? We are absolutely sacking our standard of living, and that's going to get us a lot of radicalism. So this is not a sustainable situation. We absolutely need to build our way out of it. That's the goal here, but we can see our GDP steadily ticking upward. We're at 18 million now, 6.7k income. I think I'm going to be focused for the moment on dropping our interest payments. I think that's going to be the goal for right now. I'm relatively comfortable with our construction speed at this moment. It's not our goal construction speed, but I'm relatively comfortable with it right now. So for the moment, this will do. And we're definitely, I mean, we're building 2 buildings, actually 3 buildings full bore, and almost like 3 3/4 buildings full bore, right? If we look at our private construction here, 17.5 is going into that. Okay, so maybe it's more like 2.5, well, no, 3.5 buildings full bore. I'm reasonably comfortable with that, though. I think that's okay. So out of curiosity, wood is a little expensive, tools, iron, those need to get dealt with. Paper is concerning. The reason paper is concerning is because we're going to be consuming paper in all of these government administrations, right? So paper is a little bit concerning here. Wood, I would like to get dealt with. We'll start doing that, I think, after we get this round of iron mines done. We are almost certainly going to need additional iron mines. And the reason that this is negative right now, I believe, is, again, investment pool. So that's the theory. 93% on our funding becoming available for the shipyards, so that should be fine. 96? Yeah, so we're going to run a couple of weeks of this deficit. I'm not too concerned about that. That'll be fine. Another government administration finishing, bringing us down to 85k. Do we have a graph on our unrealized taxes? No. I think this number has been coming down, though. I think it was 87 earlier. So that's definitely good. We're also getting construction efficiency out of this from having the excess bureaucracy, so that's not bad either. The main concern here is definitely standard of living, but once we get our economy to a point where it's afloat, then we should be fine on that front, I think. We'll start cutting our taxes at that point, and things will get a lot better. We need to be focused. Yeah, we can see here the price of paper is steadily rising. That's unsurprising. The price of wood should be holding relatively steady, as should currently tools and iron. Actually, iron should be dropping, right, because we are building these iron mines. But we only have 2 more iron mines queued up at this time. So I think we're going to focus on getting wood dealt with soon. We need about 800 wood production in order to completely produce everything we need there. So that would be a lot. 800 wood production is a whole lot. When we consider, well, 3 is 120. So, I mean, pulling up a calculator again, 800 divided by 40 is 20 total. So, I mean, that is a fair amount, to be sure. To be sure, that is a fair amount. Let's let these iron mines finish before we start thinking about how many. Well, we can think about how many we want. I don't think we need to build all 20 of these. Yeah, I don't think we do. Market access is dropping in a couple of locations. This is unsurprising. So we're going to, in Kanto and Kansai, build a couple of ports. That is a high priority, but I'm going to prioritize the iron mine above this government administration for the moment. And actually have it be something kind of like this, although that doesn't change the order that they're going to be built in. So that's fine. We're going to have our final iron mine for the moment done in 10 weeks. Now we can see we're at 10K income right now. That's actually really solid. That's better than I expected it to be at this moment. And we're starting to see our interest payments drop relatively dramatically. So that's good. I want to keep running this surplus until we get our interest payments dealt with and just building at this speed for a while. We've gained 0.2 million with our GDP since we last looked at it. And overall, I think this is solid. We definitely do need to deal with our market access issue, and we're still working towards being able to build railroads. We're a ways away from that yet. So mechanical tools, we're 24 months out from, and then railways, that's going to be a while, right? And then we're going to start working our way towards quinine. But we really, I mean, it's severe malaria out there, right? So I'm not sure that it's even all that useful for us, because we'd have to go all the way down to malaria prevention. For the time being, I'm going to remove these from the research queue. We're just going to railways for right now. Stock exchange would actually be really useful for us. Also, something that we probably want to prioritize getting to would be things like nitroglycerin for the resource discovery chance. So intensive agriculture might be what we... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to queue it. I didn't want to replace mechanical tools. Intensive agriculture might be what we want to move towards next. I see Bessemer process is underway, and that would be good. So for the moment, that seems completely fine. Okay, I'm checking in on the price of iron. It's not too bad right now. So we're not going to be focused on iron for the moment. I think paper is probably a pretty big problem, and that will drive the price of wood up, right? So we're going to need to queue up a couple of paper mills here. I'm going to build them in, I mean, Kansai, we've got that infrastructure issue, right? Out of curiosity, if we went over to our development here and went to cargo port, what would that do for infrastructure? That would boost up the infrastructure at the cost of 3.59K. It's an option. For the moment, I'm not going to take that option, but we'll keep it in mind. So I'm going to build a couple of logging camps, specifically 7 in Chugoku. And then we're also going to build some paper mills. Specifically, I'm going to build 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be a total of 7 as well. Now, the port is still most important. And I'm going to intersperse a few government administrations here. We should probably do the logging camps before we do the paper mills. That makes the most sense to me. So I'm going to move these guys up. This government administration I'll just have between them, and we'll do something kind of like this. Now, we're going to need more government administrations, but this will drive down our costs on our current government administrations. If we look at this, we're spending 19.6K on paper right now. We should definitely think about bringing that down. So that's the goal here. Our port is now done. So market access is still a little bit on the low side. These might not be fully outfitted at this point. 73 of 66. Checking in on that port. Actually, we currently don't get any from ports, do we? This would have to go up to a cargo port. So in that case, we do have to do this right now, because anchorages do not actually get us any infrastructure. Cargo ports do. So we have to go to cargo port, and then that will start to drop off. Okay. So we'll see how that ends up going. That does cost us some weekly money. And yeah, those unrealized taxes are definitely improving. So that's good. And these logging camps aren't going to take very long to build. The paper mills, on the other hand, those are going to be a little slower. But just getting the logging camps will help our existing paper mills, because wood prices are currently high, right? So that will help our existing paper mills, and just building these will drop how much we're paying for government administrations. We can see right now the cost of paper is about 20.4k, and we are spending some on clippers, which is to be expected. The price of clippers is what? Yeah, it's a little expensive. So how many clippers do we end up needing right now? Okay, so we need approximately 50 clippers, thereabouts. How much do we produce per shipyard? 20 per level. So we need about 3 of these. Okay, I'm going to build 1 in Ryukyu, 2 in Ryukyu, and an additional 1 in Kyushu, so we're at 3 each there. So I do want to make sure that we have this government administration prioritized, and then we're going to intersperse logging camps here because we're going to need them. Shipyards, keep in mind, consume wood and fabric. Now, fabric is going to be interesting for us. That's going to be textile mills, which... I mean, no, textile mills consume fabric. Where do we get fabric? Livestock ranches. Okay, we can definitely build some of those. We've got actually a lot of arable land in Chubu, so that's a potential option. Noted. For the time being, I'm not too concerned about it. We'll keep an eye on it. We're definitely running a clippers shortage, though, which is not surprising at all. So there's that government administration done. And we are going to get these shipyards finished up eventually. They're going to be fairly slow, but we've got the logging camps interspersed in them, and the logging camps build reasonably quickly. So that'll be fine. We're going to eventually be working just on the shipyards. But this all looks good for the moment. We're paying down our debt, and actually we paid down a significant amount of our debt. We can see our gold reserves here has peaked about here and then started going upwards. And yeah, we've paid off roughly a third of our debt at this point. So that's really solid. We're down to 8k interest per week now. So that's good. We're very, very pleased about that. Our shipyards, of course, do need to get finished. This shipyard is maybe a little less of a priority. Maybe we put that one here and get these logging camps done first. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think that's okay. So obviously, we're currently an unrecognized regional power. We did get bumped down in our power ranking. That's not surprising at all right now. We are currently sacking our prestige in addition to our standard of living. Although we unsacked our military just in hopes that Britain thinks twice about attacking us. But to be honest, if they attack us, it's going to be tough. Any way we slice it, Britain could beat us at this moment. And there's not anything we can really do about that, right? So we just have to try to diplomatically keep them from being able to. We're just holding relations at this point. So that's reasonably fine. 4% state construction efficiency from our bureaucracy, which is nice. We're going to need more bureaucracy for sure. And our unrealized taxes are likely going to start creeping back up because we're not actually working on government administrations right now. We've kind of deprioritized that in favor of logging camps, shipyards, paper mills. And then we'll get back to the government administrations. So 148 weeks in our construction queue right now. Now, when we do get our debt paid off, which it's going at a decent clip right now, it's still 106 weeks out, right? So we're 2 years out from paying our debt right now, paying off our debt right now. Once we do get that paid off, I will be interested in building more construction. But for right now, this will do. Clippers, wood, paper, tools. So tools are definitely something that we should consider building as well. We need wood for that right now. Out of curiosity, are we now good to go to wrought iron tools? That would drive the price of iron up pretty dramatically. Indeed, it would. But it might be worthwhile. I think for now, I'm just going to build one additional tooling workshop in Kansai. We'll put that at the top of the queue for right now. We're about to finish up a bunch of things here. So this logging camp will be done in 3 weeks. That looks good. The price of wood is definitely beginning to drop here as we finish those. We've got some significant dippage happening there. So that looks good. Now, clippers are going to still be expensive for a little bit, but we're not running an input goods shortage, and yeah, we can see that's a pretty dramatic reduction in the market price. Once we finish this shipyard, it'll probably dip down under the baseline. So we're not going to need any additional shipyards for a while after this. We do have these tooling workshops, shipyards, and government administrations here. Keeping an eye on our wood price, we're probably going to need additional wood production. Each one of these paper mills is consuming 60 wood. So if we wanted to keep our wood price where it's at right now, we'll need like 3, 6, 9, 10 and a half. Okay. The samurai are petitioning the government to pass dedicated police force. We'll see what we can do. Is that something that we want? What are we on right now? We're on local police force? Actually, this is something we want. That said, the shogunate opposed this. We'll try. We'll try. We'll see how it goes. So, as I was saying, we're going to need like 10 and a half additional logging camps in order to keep the price where it's at for the paper mills. So we can queue up, say, 6 here and 5 here. So something along the lines of that. And, of course, we want the tooling workshop, shipyard, and government administration here, and then we'll work on... Actually, let's intersperse these. I just like doing this because it gets... It spreads out the longer constructions, right? And we can have more steady progress. So we're at 12.5k right now for our surplus. Our surplus is actually going pretty well. We're nearly out of debt at this point. We've got about 800k left. And we're still paying about 5k in interest, to be sure. But we're definitely getting that debt snowball rolling. The main problem right now is unrealized taxes, but I want to get these economic constraints balanced first. Although we might want to move up like one government administration. Not here, though. I would like to have it be here. So something along the lines of that. So we're going to get 2 additional government administrations done here. Russia is protective towards us. Probably because of Britain's domineering status, if I had to guess. So that's reasonably fine. There's a logging camp finishing, and wood is no longer considered expensive at this time. So we're kind of overbuilding our logging at this moment. So I'm going to move up 3 paper mills. And we're going to have this be something kind of like this. Although the tooling workshop I kind of want to get done too. So maybe something like this. Just so that we have additional consumption on our logging camps. So we have media endorsements here, and we'll absolutely take the voice of the people. Fantastic. So that's great. Working up our police force would absolutely be very, very good for us, since we've got a fair amount of radicalism, right? So we need to get that dealt with, absolutely. And our debt is down to 725k, right? Like, we're definitely paying off our debt at a pretty good clip at this point. We're going to expand construction before we cut taxes, almost certainly, because we need to get our construction expanded if we want to become a powerhouse over here. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to colonize down over here. We're going to have to do some conquest, but that's okay. We need to first get our economy online, and it's actually coming along. We're starting to see some significant results at this point. So that's looking great. We're going to get these paper mills done before we continue work on any additional logging camps. Maybe we want to get these interspersed in these logging camps down here, just so that we keep our... And we can do something like this. Just so that we end up keeping our prices reasonably solid without just absolutely tanking the price of wood, right? Because I want to make sure we have the demand here, so we end up doing something kind of like this. Each of these paper mills... Actually, this one can be moved up 1, like so. Each of these paper mills are, of course, going to be requiring usage of 1.5 logging camps worth. So in theory, this will be net negative until these logging camps finish up. Okay, dissenters are breaking ranks. That is not necessarily ideal. We could take a setback here. Done. We'll take a setback. That's fine. I want to continue to work through this dedicated police force. So that's okay. That's absolutely fine. About 500k left in our debt, and that looks very, very good. We're going to get these paper mills built. That will reduce our greatest cost center right now, which is our paper. Absolutely. And that'll be great as well. It is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are absolutely going to start to see our economy soar. We're going to get our debt paid off, and then we're going to build at least 3 construction sectors here, maxing out Chubu, and that would be absolutely wonderful. That'll get us an additional 15 construction, which will allow us to build all this faster, which will, you know, just continue the economic snowball. So that'll be great. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.